Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. Today we're gonna jump into another session of the WPT GTO trainer, where we are almost finishing up the cash game spot cutoff open versus big blind call. We just have 50 hands left to play, so 2 sessions, and we're gonna try and get our EV loss down to as little as possible. I think minus 35 BBs. If we can achieve that, that'll be great. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We have ace jack off on a deuce 9 tray, and that's going to be a bet too. The solver agrees, and let's go to another one. Ace 10 off on a jack 7-6 with 2 hearts. Maybe that's going to be a check. Yes, it is. Perfect. Ace on the turn. We need to bet. Is there a spot where we overbet? Let's try it out. Nope. The solver would never, almost never overbet here. He would check again 71% of the time. Yeah, this is the kind of spot that I'm missing for sure in my game. I want to overbet here or bet 3/4. And the ideal action is actually a check. Let's go to the next one. 6-4 of hearts on a deuce jack 5. Maybe that's a bet 5. It is a bet 2. Played 58% of the time, but bet 5. So overbetting is almost the same EV wise, but and a third of the solver strategy. So it's fine either way, betting 2 or betting 5. King jack of spades on a 6-10-5 with 2 spades. I think it's a bet 2. It is not. It is a bet 5 44% of the time. Bet 2 is played 13% of the time, so I assume check is played 45% of the time. So it's better to check. I mean, we don't know if it's better, but it's a more frequent play by the solver. There's a 5 of hearts on the turn. Is this a card that we can bluff at? Probably. Should we be bluffing here? I'm going to check. And it turns out that, yeah, bluffing 3/4 of the pot is actually the ideal action. Played 48% of the time. Checking behind is 0 EV loss and played 36.5% of the time. We have a 7 of spades on the river, and we're gonna bet this now. We're gonna bet 5. We're gonna bet 8. The solver agrees, but we get called nonetheless by jack 10 off. We lose the pot. King queen of clubs on a 10-6 ace is going to be a bet 2, and it's a bet 5. Okay, that's a bet 5. Good to know. Jack 10 off on a king 8-5 is a bet 2, sorry. Yep. 3-5 of hearts on a 7-9 deuce is gonna be a check. Ideal action is actually betting 5 44% of the time. Check is 0 EV loss, but the solver plays it 16% of the time, so we should be also betting 2 fairly often here. Now we hit a 5 and the villain leads for 4.5 BBs. Do we call? Or do we fold? I think it's a fine. It's fine to fold it. Nope. It's actually not fine at all. We should be calling 99% of the time. Folding here is too weak. It's a minus 1.17 BB EV loss. 10-8 of diamonds on a 10 deuce deuce. Is this a bet 2? It's a bet 5, but bet 2 is also a frequent play. Now there's a queen of clubs on the turn, and we're gonna check. Solver agrees, and now on the king, the villain leads. We're gonna call. And we win the pot, and the solver agrees that we should call it here. Pocket 8s on a jack, queen 6. Is that a bet too? Nope. It should be a check 99.2% of the time, which is interesting. Now we hit our 8 on the turn. So we're gonna bet 3/4 and we should check. Queen jack off on an ace 8-7 is a bet too. We get raised. We fold. Yeah. King jack of spades on a deuce 3 queen. Is that a bet 5? It's a bet 2. And it would be bet 5 probably if we had a gut shot. So if there was an ace here instead of a 3, I think. Ace queen off on a 4 deuce tray. We get led into for 2 BBs. I think that's a call. Yes. Now there's an ace on the turn and the villain leads for 13 BBs. Overbets the pot. Now do we call this? I think we do. Yeah, the solver agrees. Now there's a jack of clubs on the river. And the villain bets again 3/4 of the pot. I think at this point we have to fold. I don't think we can call this here very often, and the solver agrees with that. King 8 of hearts on a 7 tray 10 is a bet too. Should be actually a check 68% of the time. We catch a 9 of diamonds on the turn. So we picked up some equity. I think it's good to try and take the spot down here by betting. The solver agrees. Betting 3/4 is the good bet. We get called. We catch our straight on the river. The villain checks to us. Now do we bet at this or do we fold? Betting is pretty much bluffing. I think I'm gonna check behind. And the solver agrees. We win the pot. King 8 of clubs on a 9-6-8 with 2 diamonds. Is that going to be a check maybe, huh? Nice. Well, now the villain leads on a 10 of hearts turn. We're gonna call. And now the villain checks on a jack of hearts on the river. And are we going to bet here? Or are we going to fold? Perhaps it's a spot where we overbet. And the solver actually would bet half pot here as an ideal action, 58.7% of the time. Overbetting is a big part of the strategy as well, and a very small EV loss. So it's either bet half pot or overbet. Ace 9 off on a deuce 9 tray. That's going to be a bet too. It is, and we get check raised. Obviously we call. The solver agrees. There's a 3 of hearts on the turn. And I would bet 8 here. Is that a spot where we bet 8? Shoot, I almost thought that for once I would get this right. But it's actually a 3/4 pot bet. It's the ideal action here. I thought I've had a similar spot already here, and the ideal action was the third of the pot, but it must have been a different board structure, but I thought it would sound like this. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Jack 8 of diamonds on an ace 6 queen is a bet too. It is not. It is actually a bet 5, 79% of the time. Okay. A bet 2 is a very small EV loss, but just 9% of the strategy. Pocket 3s on an 8 ace 4. I suppose that's a check. It's a bet too. Played 80% of the time almost. Oh, we check behind nonetheless, and now on a 4 of clubs, the villain overbets the pot. I think we call this here. Should actually be folding 91% of the time. Calling is a small EV loss, and they the rest of the strategy pretty much. But you know, just 8.5% of the time we should be doing it here. So now the villain bets 15 BB, so 3/4 of the pot. Do we call this or do we fold? I think we call this, and we should actually be folding, and that really hurts. The minus 7.65 BB of EV loss, because that pretty much costs us the fact that we won't be able to get our EV loss down to minus 35, I think. But oh well, I would assume actually that it's not such a bad play calling here with pocket threes, but I guess it is. I mean, it definitely is. King 9 of spades on a 6-4 tray with 2 hearts. That's gonna be a check. It should be a bet instead. Now we have a king of hearts. I think I'm gonna bet 3/4 now, and I should be checking really. Well, ace 8 of hearts on a deuce 6 queen. It's gonna be a bet too. It is. King 10 off on a 6 jack deuce is a bet too. It's a check ideally, but just 23% of the time. Bet 2 is a more frequent play and pretty much the same EV wise. 5 of spades on the turn. We're gonna check here. The solver agrees. And now another jack on the river, and we're gonna fold. 10 queen off on a 8-5 king is a bet too. 3-5 of diamonds on a king 7-4. Is that a bet 5? Nope, it's a bet 2 again. 68.5% of the time. I think that's because of the king. 5-4 suited on a queen jack 6. Is that a bet too? It's a 5. It's a bet 5. And we get check raised. We fold. Ace 10 of hearts on a deuce 6-8. 2 diamonds is a bet too. It is. Ace 8 of hearts on a 4 jack 7. Again is a bet too. Actually a check is the ideal play, but bet 2 is pretty much similar. Okay, we've played our 25 hands today, so let's exit the session. Make sure we are at 25 hands. Yes, we are. Well, overall EV loss hurts, and that's pretty much only due to the horrible 2 hands spree. But pretty much it's just this one decision costing us dearly. But, well, hopefully we'll learn something from it. Let's see the overall stats. Yeah, we're at minus 39 BBs. So I think even if we have a session on 0 EV loss, we'll still not be able to get it down to minus 35, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, and if you want to check out this Learn WPT GTO trainer, you can find the link in the description of this video. So please do that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.